Hello, and welcome to the Christmas and New Year special edition of Tuk-Tuk Travels. Now, because Thailand is a Buddhist country, I was told I would be working on Christmas Day because it's not a holiday. At first, I must say I was a bit disappointed to be working during Christmas. But as the time went by, I thought, okay, we'll see how it goes. I'll just play some games, do some Christmassy things, and it will just be home away from home. My parents even sent me some fake snow to make things a little bit more festive. But as things turned out, I didn't actually have to do any work. Through the development of our sports team, the final of all the sporting events in the district were to be held on our school on Christmas. This meant there'd be no lessons, and instead the school would be there to support our sports teams, and in the morning there'd be a big sort of parade. Now, everyone who knows me knows that I love dressing up and anything gold and shiny. So when I was approached and asked whether I would like to be in the parade, dressed up as an old kind of devil, I was like, hell yes! I jumped at the chance. I took part in lots of rehearsals, well, not that many rehearsals, it's Thailand. They were like, just go. But I took part in a few rehearsals, and then Christmas Day came up. So, I was at school for 7 o'clock in the morning, dressed in basically my pyjamas, and they were like, here's your costume. Now, as I said, I like dressing up. I like things gold and shiny. And another thing I like is myself. Just being all naked and sexy. So my costume was basically that. I had a cloth around my waist, tucked under to make an impromptu pair of trousers, and then lots of gold, lots and lots of gold. I had a crown, a necklace, beads, a big heavy belt, cuffs on my arms and my wrists and my ankle, lots of gold. When my head teacher first saw me, she was a bit like, you should wear a t-shirt. And I was like, have you seen this body? And she was like, yeah, that's fine, go, go, go. So yeah, I went out in front of my school, more than half naked, and advertised us. I was like, yes, come to my school, we have sexy half-naked white people. By this point, I was still quite wild. I'm beginning to tan a little bit, not too much. I spend far too much time in this classroom. But I had a little bit of brown, and I was like, yeah, check me out. I'm white-ish, I'm sexy. It was really enjoyable. So, once I got onto the sports field, I lined up with all of our pupils who were dressed in either Muay Thai or traditional Thai dresses. And all the other schools arrived and lined up for their part of the parade. Some were dressed as chickens, from what I can gather. Others dressed more traditionally. There's quite a few Muay Thai. And then there were these boys which looked like kind of slave children. I was like, I could do with some child labour, clean my bedroom and whatnot. I was tempted to make an offer, but I thought, I'd either make something too high that they think I'm really rich, or too low and they think I'm miserly. So I thought, I'll just not try and buy children off people. Probably the safest option. So, the parade began, and I was walking around the field a few times, waving to the people, advertising the school with their sexy, sexy white man, their sexy, sexy half-naked white man, I may add, and whining to all these special guests who were there to judge. After we had walked around all the schools, all the other schools went off to their cordoned areas, And the people left in my school's parade did a huge song and dance. They'd been practicing for literally months. It looked really good, but perhaps not months worth of practice. But it did look good. We then presented a few gifts to the judges, basically a bribe, and the sports got underway. Now, I won't tell you much about the sports because they literally are just children playing football, children running races, children playing volleyball. So I can't really say much there. We didn't win everything. I mean, shucks. We won a few things. Come on. But not everything. But I spent most of my time choreographing. Now, each of the schools have their own section of cheerleaders. And I was put in charge of our cheerleaders. Teacher Sai was there before me, along with Teacher Noi, and they were doing chants in Thai and a few little rah, rah sort of things. And then I came along and I was like, okay, step it up girls, we're going to do pas de deux, maybe a inside step and a pirouette or two. And I was like, come on, get them to really do dancey things. It was good fun. I needed the exercise. They needed the choreography. Dear. After all the sports had finished and the trophies had been handed out and the schools left, some weeks previously I had arranged with the boss of my company, because I work for a private company with a group of private schools, I'd arranged with the total boss to have a nice white person Christmas. What I'd asked was, is there any way that a few of the other Farang teachers and I can get together for a nice Christmas meal, just to see each other, have some nice Western food, and just celebrate Christmas. He thought it was a really nice idea and said to leave it all in his hands. So after all the sports had finished, I was picked up in a car and driven to the city of Kolat, which is my closest city. He'd booked a table in Pizza Hut, of all places, a nice Western Christmas dinner in Pizza Hut. Now, I was the last one to arrive, and there were 4 other teachers there waiting. Teacher Matthew from Nongbumak, Teacher Adrian Walam Kiao, Teacher Christine Paktong Chai, and Teacher Lee from Non-Thai. Now, it was really nice for them to all come, and we sat around, had a chat, ate our Western pizza. And the teacher of Mon Nam Kiao had bought us all these little scarves as a present, which was really nice. I'm not entirely sure why scarves are even made in Thailand. It's boiling. I can't see a time when I'll wear it in this country. But I'll take it home with me. It'll be really nice. It says Wan Nam Kiao on it in Thai. So I was like, that's really sweet. Now, on to New Year. I had just over a week off for New Year. So the first few days I was in Bangkok. Now my friend Victoria from university was coming to Thailand on her own just to do some travelling, and I thought it might be nice if we could meet up in Bangkok. So she agreed and we met up, and along with another girl who I met in my hostel who seemed quite lost, and I was like, yeah, come with me, meet my friend, I'll take you around. I took them around a few of the sites. Now, it's got to the point where I've basically seen almost all of Bangkok that I want to. So everything I took them to was somewhere I'd already been. But it's all places that, if anyone was going, I would thoroughly recommend. So the first stop, we went to the Golden Mount, which is the big temple made of, well, painted in gold. And while I was there, I took lots of new photos. It's always worth going back to somewhere, because you can always take new photos and look at things at a different angle. From here, I took them to see the relics of the Buddha in the temple next door, whose name I forget, but I have told you before. And then we took the riverboat back up to Siam and had lunch in one of the malls, well, dinner by this point. The following day, Victoria had plans, so I went to the cinema to see Life of Pi. Now, the cinema in Thailand is amazing. The quality is just as good, but it's cheap, really cheap. About £2 to go to the cinema. So that was good fun. That night, I got the bus from Bangkok down to Chumpon, which is an overnight thing and was dreadful. I really hate travelling overnight. I have to in Thailand because it's such a big country, but I just can't sleep on trains and buses, especially on the roads here. So I had a quite, not upsetting, but I didn't enjoy my journey down to Chumpon, 8 hours that it was. When I got to Chumpon, I was getting a ferry to my final destination, the beautiful island of Koh Samui. Now, this ferry was possibly the worst boat trip I have ever been on. It was an awful night, the weather was quite just ghastly, and the water was very tremulous. It was very rough. Every single passenger and even some of the crew were sick. I lasted about an hour and a half before I started throwing up, but it just really wasn't a very nice journey. But I got to Koh Samui on New Year's Eve and headed straight to my friend's house. Now, I was very lucky to be offered a place to stay with my friend Lauren. She's a teacher on Koh Samui, and she had invited myself and Christine, who's a teacher at Pakton Chai the next time over, to stay with her. So it was very nice. I moved to her house, and from there we went about and booked our tickets to the full moon party. Now, there's a full moon party every month on most islands, but the most famous, well, the most infamous party is the New Year's full moon party on Koh Phangan, which is the next island over. So, we're heading out here. It is pouring down with rain. We're in these hideous little rain bags. What should they called? You know what I mean, the little rain mat things. Absolutely hideous. Waiting for our van. We get down to the beach for the speedboat and basically have to swim to get to the boat. It's still pouring down rain and the water's, again, very rough. And turns out we were on the last boat to leave before they cancelled them because of the weather. It was only a half an hour journey from Koh Samui to Koh Phangan, but although the water was really rough, it was absolutely amazing. Everything was black, and every now and then a streak of lightning would light the sky and you see these waves roaring and rain. It was really quite something. Frankly, I'm quite lucky to be alive. But probably not that dangerous, but it's a nice feeling. Oh god, so lucky. But yeah. So we got to Koh Phangan and got to the full moon party. And what an experience. Crowded doesn't quite cover it. The beach was thronging with people. Thais and Franks alike, all there to celebrate New Year. Alcohol was cheapish and plentiful, and it was really most enjoyable. The fireworks were spectacular. It was raining. They exploded so close to the ground. It was just raining sparks into the water. It really was quite a sight to behold. Then it was back to school the rest of the semester. It was from the 11th of January until the 20th of February is what's left of this term. And then I get summer vacation. So I'll let you know how all of that goes. In the meantime, I hope you had a really nice Christmas and a great New Year. And I shall see you all soon. Until then, goodbye.